Inform him if he can join.
Okay, I'll ask him.
Vishal, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we are on live now.
Okay,
So the students will be joining the YouTube link also parallelly.
Okay.
And then we can start the session in a minute or two.
Okay.
I see there's a significant delay in YouTube.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, Vishal bhai. Can you please repeat something?
Yeah, you said that there was a delay in the YouTube live, right?
Yeah, because there's some technical glitch from my side. I hope it is clear now.
Yes.
So we have 35 participants now?
36, yes, sir.
Vishal and sir, it is like YouTube will have a delay of 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, someone who is taking care of YouTube, if we can take up any comments from YouTube here.
Yeah. If there is anything in between, we'll just let you know about it.
Don't any student.
Yeah, any student, if they want to
comments.
have an interaction or something like that, they will write it in the comment section. So we'll pick it up from them and then we'll just tell you if they have any doubt or question. Thank you.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
So can we start, ma'am, or we want to wait?
Yes, sir. We can start. Girls are joining. By the time we just give an introduction and start, they'll be there in the session. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vishal Jain. I'm from JCI Hyderabad Royals. So a very warm good afternoon and welcome to day one of training 2 for in communication. And we have Mr. Govind Kankanani, who's going to take the training program. And we have, thank you, Arvind Bhai, for being present. Amit Makhana for being present. And to give an introduction about Govind Kankanani. Govind Kankanani was born in 1988 in Humaritan Marwadi family in the happening city of Hyderabad. A commerce graduate who is into business of human resource and has more than 8,500 employees in his firm. He joined JCI in 2016 and he became the JCI zone trainer in 2019, and in 2020 he became the president. 21 he became the president of JCI Banjara, and he also won outstanding LOM president award into 2021. And under his leadership, JCI Banjara Hyderabad bagged maximum awards in the whole JCI India at that point. Is married to Jasirit Madhuri, and who herself is very versatile and creative, and blessed with two sons, Shlok and Sotra. Welcome, JC Govind Kankanani bhai, and floor is open for you.
Welcome to the welcome, sir. Welcome to the session. This is from the college side. Girls have joined the session. I think girls, you'll have a wonderful session with sir.
Govind bhai, unmute yourself.
That was a wonderful introduction by you, J.C. Vishal Jain.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for a warm welcome. But thank you so much for handing over the floor for the training purpose.
Yes, sir. The platform is all yours now. I think you can start the session. It's also on live, sir.
Yes, thank you so much. It is great that Kasturba College are coming up with so much of innovative ideas, taking help from the organizations like JCI, and trying to give that extracurricular extra advantage to their students so that they can excel and progress further in their lives. These subjects may be taught a little in colleges, but trainings on this will help everyone to build a strong character to build their future. So we at JCI India, we call this as empowering youth. And we at JCI, we believe that the more you empower the youth, the more you will see progress in the nation, in the society, everywhere. Before taking up the session, I see that nobody's on their video mode. So it is like I'm talking to myself.
Actually, when we keep a video on, generally they are used to in the classmates that because it takes the bandwidth, a lot of bandwidth, so they keep their videos off.
Okay, wonderful.
So, of course, our girls will be interactive. Girls, will you be, isn't it?
So
can I get a response?
If that is the case, please share thumbs up. I want to see thumbs up from everyone. Okay, 1.
Well, sir,
2.
Girls will be interacting via their chat.
Okay, 3, 4, 5. Everyone, please show thumbs ups. So we have 2 comments. Point is, dear students, these efforts are being made by JCI and your college to make sure that you get that extra edge, when compared to other college students. So it is an exercise to give you an extra edge so that you can progress in the right direction and have become a great personality. And if the college is providing you that extra edge to be different among the crowd, it is your responsibility to grab it, be active, and progress further. Moving forward, I'll start my training. Okay, members, I'm sure you are able to see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm unable to see everyone.
The screen is visible, sir.
Your screen is visible. Yeah, screen is visible. I understand, but I am not able to see everyone. If questions are so Vishalji, I'll share you PPT. Yes, I'll share you the PPT on WhatsApp. You please do it.
Okay. Ma'am, can you pass on the co-host to me? I'm sorry. Hello.
Yeah, you made a co-host, Vishnu.
Yeah. Govind, did you share the PPT?
I'm about to share.
Okay.
I've shared the PPT with you.
Oh, yes, sir.
Dear members, before we get started with the PPT, I want to understand in one quick sentence, what do you expect from this training session? I want to see comments. What do you understand by communication skills? Everyone has to comment. Everyone has to speak up. I'm sure I'm audible. Friends, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's your name, ma'am? What's your name, buddy? What is your name? Hello.
Girls, you can interact. Yes, you can interact with sir.
So everyone in the comment section type communication. Friends. Okay, I got one message. Communication. Dharni, Bhargavi, wonderful. Charisma, oh, what's a wonderful name. Pravalika. Priyanka. Come on, friends. Priyanka, Manasa, Aishwarya. Skills which help in communicate to enhance our strength of language. This is what Aishwarya understands about communication. What more? Confidence, wonderful. Change your name. I can see 111194445 something number. I'm unable to see your name. Someone is saying confidence. Communication skills is confidence. What more? Okay, Hema Jain writes, it's the most effective way through which we are able to communicate what we think and how we present it to others. Wonderful. So somebody is writing Sindhu to answer. Sindhu, please answer. Acha, your name is yes, Sindhu. Wonderful. Okay. What more? Communication. Sindhu, tell me, what is communication according to you? Empathy. Okay. To express your ideas, thoughts, and feelings. Charisma writes it. Wonderful. What more? What more? Come on. P. Swati, Tejashri, B. Soni. Speaking effectively with confidence. Writes Lakshmi Prasanna. Way of talking and thinking writes some synonym. Anonymous. Name is not there. Swati writes, communication is the one which imparts an exchange of information. Wow, wonderful, Swati. Priyanka writes, interaction with others. Great. The person has to understand what we actually telling. I'm Bhargavi. Yeah, very right. A person should understand actually what we are telling. Lucky writes, the ability to convey or share ideas and feelings effectively. Okay, wonderful to see everybody is active. So this is the way we are going to move forward. It will be more of questions from the trainer, and more training today will happen from the participants. Today the trainer is not going to train. It is the participants who are going to train the trainer. Are you with me? Say yes in the chat box. Say yes in the chat box. Okay, Sangeeta, yeah, Priyanka, Pravalika, Likita. Oh, yes, wonderful. Manasa, B. Soni. Oh, Vishalji also writes. Okay, so it is a journey, dear friends, that it is not only trainers is going to come and train you. I am here to provoke a thought. I'm here to provoke a thinking in everyone's mind about the most important topic most important topic in this universe is communication. Vishal Jain writes, the imparting or exchanging of information by speaking, writing, or using some other medium. Television is an effective means of communication. Wonderful, wonderful, Vishal. Dear friends, how do we know God exists? Question is, how do we know God exists? Any answer? Faith, okay. Trust, okay. It's a belief. It's a belief. Okay, wonderful. Okay, let me tell you why we feel God is there. Because it was communicated to us by our elders. Am I right? That God is there. And how did God, made his presence felt? Now, we, major of them are from a community which we call Sanatan Dharma and all. So, to make his presence felt, God itself have communicated in the way of scriptures to human beings, so that it was a medium to understand God. The first communication in this world were Vedas. There were 4 Vedas, which was communicated by God to every one of us uh, way before this world was started. So even God understood that if you want to, have some goal to be achieved, there have to be an effective communication. Am I right? If you feel am I right, type right in the chat box. Even God feels that it is mandatory to communicate to human beings so that the goal of God is achieved. So first communication from the God was Vedas. Then we have Puranas, Agamas, many other things. So what do you feel? Is communication is that important? Yes, it is important. It is the most important thing which every individual on the planet Earth should master, should ponder their thinking on communicating effectively. So today we are going to learn or start learning the most important art of uh, most important uh, art of being human is communication. Who is the best communicator in our country today? Best communicator according to you? Right, chat. Modi. Wow, Vishalji writes Modi. What do you feel? Who is the best communicator in our country today that we admire, we cherish? Friends, okay. No. Sangeeta, I am talking about one individual with whom you understand that his or her communication is good. One personality, of your choice, which you see is an effective communicator. Someone's writing Narendra Modi, Sangeeta writes KCR Garu. What more? TV reporter. Name. Vishal bhai, I need name. Think on it. One famous personality which you think is a great communicator. Teachers. Dhoni is a great communicator, right? Sandhya, right? Teachers. Okay, I accept that. I need name of a personality. Sonu Sood. K. Shravani writes Sonu Sood is a great communicator. What more? Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg is a communicator. How, Likita? Dhruv Rathi, yes, perfect. Dhruv Rathi, Dharni writes Dhruv Rathi is a good communicator. He given proper explanation in his videos, and the message has been sent properly to the audience. What more? What more? Aishwarya writes stand-up comedian. Yes, again, that's a perfect one, Aishwarya. Stand-up comedians are good communicators. Sudha Murthy, yes. Sudha Murthy is a good communicator. What more? Simranjit Singh, wow, good. Kapil Sharma, yes. Raza Khan, okay. Sandeep Maheshwari, yes. Sandeep Maheshwari is a good communicator. What more? Kejriwal, oh, Kejriwal sir is also a good communicator. So, friends, understand this. There are a list of people who are successful communicators in our society today, or in our country today, or in the world today. Correct? What is best in them? The best in them is they communicate their job perfectly. You know, if you talk about Kejriwal ji, Kejriwal, he is such an such a communicator which influences public so that a vote comes to him. So his purpose of communicating is fulfilling. If you see Sandeep Maheshwari, millions of followers for Sandeep Maheshwari, what does it do? He communicates with his audience so effectively that have made him a best trainer in our country today. If we talk about Kapil Sharma is a great communicator. You know, his goal is to make people laugh, and he does it perfectly. Can you understand that there are two kind of people in this world? Those who communicate effectively and those who can't. Those who communicate effectively are destined to be great leaders, and they influence people and get things done. In the examples given by everyone, if you see, this all are leaders or leading their individual industry. If you say Sandeep Maheshwari, yeah, he's leading in training. If you see Kapil Sharma, he's leading in comedy. If you see Sudha Murthy garu, she is leading one of the philanthropists we all want to be. As well as stand-up comedians, they are making people laugh. You know, every day there is a huge rise in subscribers of the Dhruv Rathi. And if I say you to write those names who are leaders but are unable to make any difference. So now let's write those names who you feel are leaders but unable to communicate effectively, and or they're unable to expected. This was expected, Vishal bhai. They're not unable to communicate properly. They are just a laughing stock, and they're unable to influence people. Rahul Gandhi, any more? Any more? So we have a leader of Congress, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Anyhow, we must not comment on it. But as of now, he is not being successful in communicating and influence people. So we see how Congress is moving forward under his leadership. The only Rahul Gandhi is a great leader. If you talk to anyone in Congress, a great leader. But when you come out and when you speak, when Mr. Rahul Gandhi speaks, he somehow tends to make such a mistake, which becomes talk of the country, and he's unable to influence people. The major and important part or element of communication is to influence people, how you are going to get things done. Manmohan Singh, he didn't even communicate it, so he had to face, the loss. So we have Nara Lokesh. That's wonderful, Sony. You say Nara Lokesh. We say him, Rahul Gandhi of Andhra Pradesh. What more? You have a Nara Lokesh there who has a little, difficulty in communicating or influencing people. And we are so privileged. We have KTR Garu, who influence in such a way that we mesmerizes. Okay, Aishwarya writes KCR. So, oh my God. Someone writes Sadhguru is not a communicator. Is that right? I personally love Sadhguru, the way he speaks. So today, at the end of this course, all of us, you and me together, will understand why of communication, the communication process, the medium of communication, the barriers of communication, the 5 C's of effective communication, and tips for effective communication. So, so all with me now, say yes in the chat box if you are with me now. Yes, we shall write yes. What more? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay, wonderful. Pravalika, Priyanka, Muskan, Lakshmi, Sandhya, wow, wonderful. Sony. So you all are active. Appreciations to you and very well done. Yes, Aishwarya. Okay, communication. Why communication? Now, if you see the slide, Vishal Bhai, it is requested when I say to move forward, then only you click because you know there is a chance of go back, go back, go back, go back, go back, Vishalji. Second slide. Okay, second slide. Okay, now hold on. Why communication? Vishal Bhai. Okay, please move on to the next slide. Okay, communication. Why? We have already understood why to communicate, to communicate properly, to have a confidence, to influence people. So next point, Vishalji. Next one. Okay, ability to communicate effectively is the one of the most important life skills to learn. It's an extremely important skill to be successful as a good leader, professional, businessman, or employee. I want to add here, it is extremely important skill to be a human. You know, if you see our world, our society is so much of communication. We always tend to, have from elderly ki char log kya kahenge. Am I right? For anything we hear from our parents, from elderly ki log kya kahenge. So it is this communication skills are so important to become a good leader, a professional, a businessman, and an employee. You know, as you have heard in my introduction, I have 8,500 employees working under my company, and we are the one of the India's top staffing services providers in India. We are the top. You know what I feel is like, when I'm an employer and I'm handling so many people, I tend to give promotions to them who can speak properly, who can execute things properly. There are employees in my office who works perfectly. When asked to communicate, they are unable to communicate. So it's a whole waste of time. They do their work perfectly, but they're unable to communicate. As an employer, I don't feel someone who cannot communicate their own work, they are not supposed to climb up the ladder. That is what I feel as an employer. So today you are at Kasturba College. Tomorrow you're going to be an employee. Tomorrow you're going to be an entrepreneur. Tomorrow you're going to be a businessman. Tomorrow you're going to be a leader. Tomorrow you're going to be a professional. If you fail to communicate what you have done, you have failed yourself. This 2 hours training will not give you an immediate impact on your communication. Communication is a process which have to be developed every day. Every day, one step towards good communication skills will make you an amazing person in future. Moving forward, Vishal bhai, moving forward. Why do we communicate? I want answers from the participants. Why do we communicate? To convey shared thoughts and build bond. Dharni writes. Dharni writes to convey our thoughts, share our thoughts, or to build a bond, we have to communicate. Feeling sharing is what Vishal Bhai writes. For better understanding of ideas, we have to communicate. Okay. To answer somebody, we have to communicate. Simple thing. To answer somebody, we have to communicate. Correct. Correct, Aishwarya. Moving forward. What more? Swati, to Priyanka writes to know about it. Okay. Sai Preeti, you're not active. Tejashri, you're not active. Nikita, you're not active. I want you to interact. Why we should communicate to answer somebody. Sai Preeti, okay. Lucky writes to build relationships, socialize, to ask questions, to share experiences. Wonderful. Lakshmi Prasanna writes, convey our thoughts. Sai Preeti becomes active now. She writes to convey our thoughts. P. Swati writes to improve ourselves more better. Wonderful. Okay, I see our president of JC Hyderabad Royals, JC Nishant Shah is here. Thank you so much, President Sir, for giving me. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to serve the organization and empower youth. Let's give a round of applause for our president, JC Nishant Shah. So claps. Can I see claps? Come on, participants.
Thank you
claps for president. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Pravalika, yes. Oh, wonderful. Claps. We need more claps. So President Sir can bring up more trainers, more effective trainers for you all. Oh, wonderful. So President Sir, thank you so much for the opportunity. And students are indeed loving your support to them.
Thank you,
so
sir,
much.
and welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much. So the more, you know, I also recognize the presence of you know, JCRET Hema Jain. She's been an outstanding JCRET in year 2021. So I recognize your presence, Hema Bhabi. Okay.
Thank you so much, Govind sir. Thank you for giving your time for JC Hyderabad Royals, sir.
My all time is for you people. Okay, so moving forward to training, why do we communicate? To know somebody, right? We have to communicate. Point is, the most important thing is why we should communicate is to make sure our purpose is served, to make sure we achieve our goal faster. Vishalji, if you can move to the next slide. Okay, we can communicate to inform. We communicate for a request, share, as I said earlier, explain, message, inquire, feedback, share ideas, praise. Dear friends, if you know, every time, the most important, if you know, if you can't live without breathing, is the one basic thing. The other thing is, if you can't live without speaking. If you don't speak, you are dead. And if you speak for a purpose. Even when you request for a tea or something from your mother, you have to communicate with her to make sure your goal or your need is achieved. If you don't communicate it properly, you're not going to get it. For an example, you want a cup of tea and you say, Mama, I want a cup of milk. And Mama, understanding your communication, brings milk to you, and then say, no, Mama, I wanted tea. So Mama says, why you said me milk? Oh, I said milk, but in my mind it was tea. So when you are unable to communicate what's in your mind, when you're unable to communicate to achieve your goal, you are dead. As simple as that. So to be alive, to be active, or to be human, you have to continuously communicate. Okay, moving forward, it has to, if you communicate, you build relationships. If you communicate, you build businesses. If you communicate, you win hearts. So communication is that much important. The art of communication is the language of leadership. You know, our mother is the best example of leadership. We tend not to deny anything she asks us to do. Am I correct? If you closely watch the communication from your mother, you will find a perfect blend of empathy, perfect blend of compassion, perfect blend for authority, perfect blend for commanding. All this together, mothers communicate. And back of mind, you are always like, whatever my mother is communicating, it is for good of me. And you immediately start accepting the communication. Other than mother, if your friend communicate to you, they may miss some elements. So point here is the mother becomes leader in our house. Even our father listens to mother, and everyone around us in our family, we tend to listen to a mother. Jo mummy ne kaha wo sahi. That is what we move forward. Now the same communication is done by your friends. There will be a thought of question in your back of your mind, and you may not immediately accept their communication and do what they want, because leadership, communication is an art, or communication is a language of leadership. If you communicate and you're not getting the desired results, it means that you're not communicating it properly. It means that you're not able to convince the other person so that your goal is conceived. Moving forward. Okay. If you see, there is a process of communication. Am I right? Say right. Right in the comment box. I need right, R-I-G-S-T, right. Okay, Vishal writes. Swati, Priya, Anusha. What more? Sangeeta writes, right, sir, yes. So always there is a process of communication. It doesn't seem in the realistic world that there is a process, but every time if you watch it closely, or if you break down any communication, it had happened with a process. And the process is, sender sends the message, it goes through a medium, it goes to a receiver, then a feedback, then medium, again it comes to a sender. Sender sends up communication. What does the sender send? Sender sends a communication. Let's say we have Pravalika and Sai Preeti. So I want something from Sai Preeti. So I say, Pravalika, please go and share with Sai Preeti that I need a book for assignments. So my communication, I become a sender. Message it, I need documents for that assignments. Medium becomes Pravalika, and receiver becomes Sai Preeti. Am I correct? Now, if this would have been a physical training, we would have done an exercise to communicate. Anyhow, if this is online, so you may not understand the process. It simply says that if you start a communication from one end to other end, there are chances that you lose the meaning of communication till it is sent to the receiver. Always it happens, the basis of any quarrel or any misunderstanding happens with miscommunication. So to have perfect communication, you have to follow this process so that your communication is delivered effectively. Moving to the next slide. Next slide. Move on, Vishalji. Move on. Okay. First is medium of communication. Linguistic communication, the words you speak. Paralinguistic communication, the way you deliver, your tone, your voice, your modulation, your accent. What is linguistic? Dear participants, if you understand word linguistic, language, okay. Participants, Anusha writes language. What more? I want everyone to be active. Be Nikita, be Sony, Pravalika. Mode of Priya Jen writes mode of communication. Anadita, Aparna, P. Swati. Be active. Mode of communication. What more? Linguistic, the words you speak. Mode of the word you speak. Word linguistic means language. We all have mother tongue. We all belong, to different societies, different cultures. As I belong to Marwari community, my mother tongue becomes Marwari. But basic language, what we all follow is Hindi or Telugu. So the medium of communication, the basic can be through a language, so that others understand. The words you speak become the first medium of communication. Second is paralinguistic, the way you deliver it. The way you deliver it also becomes very important. This is the most important. You may have right intention, you may have right words to communicate, but when your tone is not right, when your voice is not right, when you don't have proper modulation, when your accent is not right, the message is not delivered. It is not an effective communication. For instance, if we want to give teach somebody, we can say you are an idiot. No, you are an idiot. Words are same. Medium is English. The language is English. You are an idiot. It is a simple communication. Am I right? Yes. Now, how this sentence will have a different impacts when you don't have proper tone, proper voice, proper modulation, or proper accent. You are an idiot. You are an idiot. When you raise your voice, you have seen there is a modulation in my voice. The tone was not right. The accent is not proper. This communication tends to hurt someone. Or else you can say, you are an idiot. When we say like this, we see that we have a smile on our face. Word are same, one and the same. Words are the same, but the kind of communication differentiated. When I raised my voice, it was harsh. When I had a smile, it was like a sarcasm. So whenever you communicate, you must understand what is important where. Sometimes to raise voice is also important. Sometimes, major of the times, if you can smile and speak, that comes under effective communication. You have to be very, agilely watch your, tone. Tone is the most important. You know why we all in JCI are so active? I'm a businessman. Vishal is a businessman. Hemaji is a homemaker. President sir is here. Nishan sir. Why are we so active in JCs? We are the only reason that we are active in JCs, that it gives us opportunity to communicate and opportunity to communicate rightly. This organization have helped us to communicate and convince people with same words, same language, but watching having a perfect blend of tone, voice modulation, and accent. Today, as in my introduction, you have learned that I was president in 2021. I used to lead 270 individuals in my chapter. By getting insights from JCI, I was able to handle 270 human brains. The only point was I was trained how to communicate. Today I become a zone trainer, and this service is given to you for free from JCI fold, because we at JCI understands that how important is communication. So we have developed a program called Empowering Youth. We are moving forward to make sure that everyone knows what is the right style of communication, how it can be communicated, and how youth can be empowered so that they can effectively communicate to build a better future for all of us. There is a second way of communication. The second medium of communication is non-verbal. The message you send through body language. It has been a great session if this training would have been on the offline mode. But kindly understand non-verbal communication. If you go and watch videos of Narendra Modi, if you go and video watch of some communicator who is not that effective as Modi ji or KCR or KTR, whatever, you can go and watch. The more important is the way they send a non-verbal communication. And to me, Modi ji is one of the finest example where he communicates without saying anything. Always see at his body language. Somebody wrote in the messages that communication helps you to develop self-confidence. Watch Modi ji, the way he speaks, the same his body language will be. If you see body language of Rahul Gandhi, go to YouTube closely, watch it.
Online.
Sanya B, any issue? Okay, go to YouTube. No, and provoking a thought in everyone's mind. Go on YouTube and watch body language of Rahul Gandhi. Go on YouTube, watch body language of Nara Lokesh. Then watch body language of KTR Garu. Watch body language of Modi ji. The way these leaders carry themselves which directly impacts their mind. And when the impact created in mind, it comes in the communication. If in the mind we understand that we are confident, our voice will be confident. We will be able to understand. We will able to convince people. For that, we must have a right body language. You cannot have a careless body language and you hope that you can win people by communication. Whenever you see Mr. Rahul Gandhi, he will be smiling for unnecessary reasons. He'll be doing something unnecessary, so which reflects what's there in his mind, and ultimately, when he communicates, is unable to convince people. When you see your teachers around, see their body language, what it is. They will never have a wrong body language. They will always have a wonderful body language. That is why when we are in classroom, we follow our teachers. They are our gurus. They become our gurus because they are an effective speakers, effective communicator with a right body language. If at all, if we are talking about big people, if at all there is a teacher or there is some individual whose body language is not right, You will not consider, you will not consider listening to him, because that individual is not creating that impact in you so that you can listen to him. So body language is an ultimate and important part of communicate to be a better communicator to achieve your goals. From today, whenever you see any individual who has been successful in his life, watch its body language, what's the kind of tone he uses, watch how he is modulating the voice, what's the accent. The more you watch, the more you will learn about medium of communication. Moving forward, Vishalji. As I said earlier, non-verbal communication are also very important. I'm a trainer. I cannot come here in a t-shirt or a jeans to give you training. I have to be properly dressed so that an image is created, so your subconscious mind surrenders in front of a trainer and it starts accepting the ideas or the training. If this appearance is not right, you may not be interested to talk to me. So it is very important that you have a personal appearance so right, so dynamic that people be interested and come and talk to you. Personal appearance is the most important. Never ever think, dear friends, that ye chalega, ye to chalta hai. Make sure that your appearance is up to the mark, and it is up to the mark and top of the notch. The most important is a smile. Smiling face, this has a very great impact on your subconscious or a psychological mind. Even if you want to curse someone, if you smile and curse, he will not feel bad. Your job is done. Your job is done. You have cursed or you have appreciated or whatever you wanted. Your job is done, but the other have not felt the hurt. And I don't want you to curse anyone. I'm just giving you an example. If you want to get something done which is not possible, only by a way of smile it can happen. Facial expressions are very important. Movement, how you walk around, how you sit, how you eat is also important. Posture. You can't be a lenient fellow. You can't be a lenient individual where you are being taken for granted. Always your posture has to be right. Your personal appearance should be right. You must have a smile on your face and have a facial experience which has been desired or which has been accepted by others. These are the only way that you are going to win hearts. And you're going to win people, you're going to influence people. How many of you want to say you want to influence people? Say, I want to influence in the chat box. I want to influence others. Right? Influence in chat box. Influence, that's it. Okay, influence. I want everyone to participate, right? Influence in the chat box. Pravalika, Priya Jain, Manasa, Sandhya, Aishwarya. Okay, Aishwarya, rise. I want to influence minds. Wow, wonderful. Pravalika, Sangeeta, Soumya, Sai Preeti, Tejasri. Lakshmi Prasanna writes, yes, influence. Komal Singh writes influence. I want everyone to write influence in chat box. You know why I'm doing this exercise for you to write in chat box? Because these are the keywords. These words becomes key for you to unlock possibilities. It is not only writing in the chat box, it is noting down what it is influence. And this world today has an enormous R&D, enormous resources where you can do R&D. One influence to be themselves. Wow, Dharni writes. Priya Jain writes influence. These keywords are most important. I'm at the age of 33 years now, and I regret that why didn't I join JCI in my early 20s, where you guys are standing. If I would have been joined in JCI in my early 20s, I would have come to know about this kind of subjects, which were already available in the world, but I could not sharpen my skills to become an influencer, to become a communicator. But JCI gives me a platform where I daily have an opportunity to sharpen my skills. This kind of training is not been done by any other colleges. This kind of if you go to Harvard, if you go to Cambridge, if you go to some university abroad, these are the most important subjects taught in their curriculum. Do we have anything about communication in our curriculum today? If at all there is, it is very minimum. Can you understand? You have to learn by yourself first. Trainers will come and trainers can come and impart their knowledge. It is very rightly said, you can become knowledgeable by others' knowledge. Hear me properly. You can become knowledgeable by others' knowledge. You cannot become wise by others' wisdom. You cannot become wise by others' wisdom. Write wisdom in the chat box. Write wisdom in the chat box. So, are we here to become knowledgeable, or are we here to become wise? Yeah, Soumya writes wisdom. What more? I want everyone to participate. Both are important. Yes, Dharni says both. Yes, both are important. You have to have knowledge, you have to have wisdom to become wise. This both works together. If there's a vehicle, it has two wheels. If one wheel works and other wheel doesn't work, you cannot move this vehicle. If you want to move both the vehicles, the both wheels have to rotate simultaneously so that we can move and have a forward direction. So knowledge and wisdom are connected to one vehicle, which is called an effective leader, or you can say effective human. These two have to roll simultaneously to move forward. So here we are getting knowledge and becoming knowledgeable. Promise me that from today's training, you will become wise by understanding the knowledge, digging on it, implementing on yourself. Right? I will be wise in the chat box. Maybe I'm those few trainers. You all are busy and we are continuously typing. So I regret, but I love this. I will be wise. Okay, Manasa, Hema, Bhabhi writes it. Okay, Komal Singh writes, I will be wise. Swati writes, I will be wise. Pravalika writes, Sai Preeti, Lakshmi Prasanna, Bhargavi, Sangeeta. Okay, Sandhya. Okay, so now we have, we took a vow to become a wise. Knowledge has been presented by me here during this training. It is now up to you to take up this knowledge, do some research and development on this, and keep on implementing in your life, so that every day you become wiser and you achieve maximum wisdom. Moving forward to the next slide, Vishal. Barriers of communication. Okay, so let's come to the another interesting, very interesting, and very, we tend to miss that this is a barrier. These are actually barriers. When it comes to natural, normal life, it doesn't look like it is a barrier, but it is like our nature. So these are attributes to our nature actually. Our nature becomes barrier so that the effective communications is not happening. Not listening well, the first barrier of communication. As you see that I as a trainer, I'm able to communicate so that everybody is listening and following what the trainer is saying. The moment, Aishwarya says, I will be sage. Wow, good. The moment a trainer is asking to communicate anything, everybody is listening and following it. Is it right? Yes, it is right. Most important, point of any quarrel or any, miscommunication is not listening well. Every time when we have a discussion or a debate or an understanding about communication, always we tend to hear that pehle achhe se suna karo. You should be a good listener if you want to be a good leader. Not listening well is the first barrier of communication. Understand one thumb rule. When someone who is speaking in front of you, let the person complete its communication. The more time you will give others to communicate, you will be an effective communicator, because in a lesser time you will be able to convince the others. The best trick is, let me give you a trick here. When there is a communication with two people and you see that both are debating to each other back to back, he's saying something, again to counter that he's saying something, then he's saying something, then he's saying something, and at the end we don't get results. You are also going to be in such kind of situations in future. Obviously we all tend to be in such kind of situations. Point is, kindly listen to it very carefully. Point is, if you allow the other one to complete its communication, you will find or you will refine what you have to communicate to that person. You thought of saying him as an idiot, and this communication what these two people are going through, you decided that he's an idiot, I'll go and tell him he's an idiot because of this thing happened. He's not right according to you. You wanted to say him idiot. No. The point is, immediately if you go and say that you're idiot, it's going to hurt and damage your relationship. It is going to hinder your goal, hinder your progress towards your goal. Once you listen him completely and carefully, you will have a better word to say him, so that you again win that communication. Always remember that you should be master of a situation. You have to be master of situation, not a slave of situation. Situation should not force you to do anything. You must create such a situations that you master them and things happen accordingly. Never be a slave of any situation. The basis of being slave is when you interrupt others to speak. When you don't have an open mind to accept the conversation from others. The less open mind you will have, the less you agitate, the more you agitate during the conversation, you're going to lose it, because you will become slave of the situation. If you want to become master of the situation, you have to listen carefully. You have to tackle in such a way that your goal, your exercise to influence the other people fruitfully gets achieved. Not paying attention is another barrier of communication. You have to pay attention. If I'm speaking, that is why this exercise has been happening again and again. So that proper attention is given to me, to my training, so that a proper communication happens. Preconceived notion. Oh my God, this is the most important thing. Now we have preconceived that Rahul Gandhi it's not a proper leader, is not a communicator. Am I right? We have conceived this, that Nara Lokesh doesn't speak properly. Don't take him seriously. This is a preconceived notion. Now, anytime we hear a speech of Rahul Gandhi or a Nara Lokesh, you will find mistakes only first. Because you have a preconceived notion about that person or about that subject, what has to be done. So when you have a preconceived notion, you tend to lose the essence of the subject. Many times, if you go through, Rahul Gandhi's speech or some other speech, you will say, "Yeah, saying to bol rahe, what wrong is saying?" But the way he's communicating is wrong, because for Rahul Gandhi, we have a preconceived notion that he's a pappu. Am I right? The moment I said that, let's give names of those leaders who are unable to communicate properly, everybody started saying Rahul Gandhi. Everybody started, when I said that, a great speaker, everybody said KTR, KCR, Narendra Modi. Because we have a preconceived notion that this guy is a good communicator. So whenever you want to influence people, want to influence some other individual, you must not carry, I repeat, you must not carry any preconceived notion against that individual. Distortion of message, selective listening, interfering, distortion of message. A message is passed that Neeraja is a very good girl. So I pass this communication to Pravalika. Pravalika passes it to Priya Jain, adding something. And the moment, and at that moment, when this communication reaches Neeraja, the message is distorted. So it is very important, when you receive some complicated communication, you check with the sender first, so that you don't create a preconceived notion, you don't give attention properly, and you are listening it particularly. Interfering, as I said earlier, you have to be a good listener to win hearts, to win people. You can't be interfering again and again. Have patience. Let the other complete what he or she wants to say. So avoid these barriers to make sure that you are a great communicator. Going forward. 5 C's of communication. Okay, now let's understand with an example. Always you see that a great communicator. We were speaking about Sandeep Maheshwari, Dhruv Radi, Narendra Modi, whatnot. You will find all the 5 C's in their communication. You will find these 5 C's in your communication. Why I'm giving examples of communicators of a national level? Because I want to provoke that thought in every one of you to watch, to do research and development and become wiser day by day and become a good communicator. The communication of those great leaders who influence people are clear, consistent, credible, confident, and concise. You have to make sure whenever you communicate to influence someone, you have to be clear in your mind first. You have to be consistent. Without consistency, without correctness of any communication, you are not going to win the people. The communication, what you do, has to be credible. Again, I'm, because I've seen so many names, I'm giving those examples only. Credible. The only point where Rahul Gandhi loses to different communicators is his information or his communication is never credible. Never credible. We, jitna bhi hum chaho, we are unable to say that Rahul Gandhi is right. Because he says कि यहाँ से आलू डालो वहां से सोना निकलेगा. If you all can relate to this, such a nonsense message. He never seems to be confident. He never seems to be concise. He will never speak. Go and watch his Times Now interview in 2014, if I'm not wrong. Why again and again I'm saying Rahul Gandhi? Because it's a perfect example which you will understand what not to be done to be a communicator. When you know what you do, you should not. When you know the don'ts of being an effective communications, you will start understanding the do's of communications. Type right in the chat box if you agree with me. Type RIGST right in communication in the chat box if you say I'm right. Sangeeta writes right. Okay. Neeraja, you are not active. Manasa, Swati, wonderful. Go and see who's you find not proper. You will understand what mistakes he is doing, and then go and see what others are doing perfectly well in that particular subject. Why the other is excelling when why the other is becoming the laughing stock. As I said, I'm here to impart knowledge. You're not going to become wise from this training. You're just going to become knowledgeable. If you want to become a wise by wisdom, you have to learn by yourself. Moving forward to the next slide, Vishalji. Tips for effective communication. Okay. First is speak clearly and purposefully. Never, ever have a conversation without a purpose. And never be if you want to be a great communicator, never be a diplomatic person. Diplomacy happens at different stages. But if you want to really influence people, you have to speak clearly and purposefully. No matter what, in what kind of state you are, or statement, what kind of state, it doesn't mean I'm talking about Telangana or Andhra, I'm talking about state. Getting it? No matter what kind of state or what kind of stature you are, always give respect and speak. Try this for once. Even some beggar comes and asks you for a beg, and you smile, communicate, boss, I don't have. You will feel good for yourself, and that beggar will also have that, at least we have not said something wrong to me. Even at that level, there has to be a sense of respect in your communication. If you can't respect humans, if you can't respect others, it is not going to happen. You're not going to lead, you're not going to influence people if you will not be able to give respect. Use correct language. If someone knows Telugu and you have started speaking in Bengali, there will be never an effective communication. Learn this one one skill or one trait is damaging us very harshly. Many of us here are unable to say no to anything. You have to learn to say no, but politely. As you can see in the slide, that yes, what you're saying is yes, but I have this challenges so that I cannot do it. Because you have a perceived notion about someone who is being higher in authority, higher in ranks, higher in the way you desire. Someone come and speak and you cannot do it, but you have nothing but to say yes. Don't do it. If you can't do it, say yes, that is okay. If you can't do it, try to say no politely. This is most important. The next point is discuss, never argue. There's a thin line. There's a very thin line which is not even visible in discussion and argue. I want Priyanka to tell me what is the difference between discussion and argue. P. Priyanka, floor is yours. I want you to say something. P. Priyanka. Okay, let's go to Priya Jain. Okay, everyone seems to be active on chat box. Sai Preeti, you tend to be active, Sai. Tejashri.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sai Preeti, thank you so much for responding. So let's, what is your view that, what is the difference between discussion and argument?
I think the discussion is which we discuss with each other or in a group discussion, and the argument is like if somebody is saying no and still we are arguing for that as argument.
So it simply states that discussion is acceptance and argument is non-acceptance. Is that right, Sai Preeti?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Sai Preeti. Let's give a round of applause for Sai Preeti. I want to see claps on every window. Claps on every window, please. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. So Sai Preeti says it very perfectly that discussion happens on acceptance mode and argue happens on non-acceptance mode. If you decided not to accept, then there is an argument. When you decide to accept the other's view also, then it becomes discussion. So from next time, when your teacher says, when your mother says, when your father says, when your sibling says, when your friend says, do not argue, ask yourself a question that you are at the verge of non-acceptance or acceptance. The moment your mind, your subconscious mind says that no, I'm not going to accept it, you are going to lose people. Let's do this exercise from here. The moment your mind says, I'm not going to accept this composition, there has to be another voice in your mind says, let's understand what the composition is and let's accept it. Your mind will loudly say that I am not going to accept this. This happens with everyone. We tend not to, give, focus on this. Every time you feel bad, your mind first says that don't accept this. The moment your mind says don't accept, you say I'm going to accept it and want to hear it what the other wants to say. The next important, effective, tips for effective communication is kiss. Not that kiss. Kiss is keep it short and simple. KISS. Keep it short and simple. How you're going to do it? Okay, Shweta Rai's discussion gives positive vibe to listener, and argue is reverse of it. Wonderful, wonderful, Ashwarya. Dharni Rai discussion is putting forward your opinion, whereas arguing is putting down their opinion. Wow, wonderful. Dharni, you are amazing, yeah. Wonderfully said. Proper kind of communication by Dharni. I would have been giving you a recognition or a chocolate, but I cannot give you anything on the online mode. My appreciations to you, Dharni. Always try to follow this rule. Kiss. Kisses doesn't mean that you're going to go and give a hug or a kiss to a person you're not agreeing to. Kisses, you have to keep your view short and simple. Our mind is already so much complicated on everything we read, we think about it. It is so much of garbage in my mind for everything. If I start speaking on every topic available in this world, there will be something garbage in your mind. If I talk about Facebook, you will say Mark Zuckerberg was a thief. He had borrowed Facebook from someone. You will not. Our mind is so programmed to attract negative things. It is very difficult to attract positive things. We know that we are accepting something negative, but we accept it happily. And accepting something positive is really tough and challenging. So the more you throw out that garbage from your mind, you are going to have a simple communication with the person you want to influence with. You want to influence to. So you have to have a credible, clean thoughts to make sure that you throw out those garbage, and on subject you want to speak, keep it short and simple. Moving forward to the next slide, Vishalji. So that's all from me. Thank you so much. I am sure that I've given you enough knowledge today. And I'm sure that by this knowledge, we are going to do some R&D, we are going to learn by ourselves. We are going to watch everyone so closely that everyone today will tell us how to communicate properly. Everyone around us will say us loudly, chilla ke bolenge ki communication karne ka sahi tarika kya hai. Only point is you have to watch everyone communicating. The knowledge, I request Vishal ji to please share this PPT to Vasundhara ji so that students can go through this. And with this knowledge, they do their R&D and become wiser in future, and have we as a Kasturba College, we students of Kasturba College come out of our flying colors and show the world that Kasturba College is the place it has to be. Thank you so much. Now I open floor for questions. We have 30 minutes to go. The floor is open for questions. There will be two things if you don't question. First, you have not understood my communication. Second is you have overheard my communication. It is said that if both are agreeing on every point, it is said that, listen to me properly. It is said that if two people are agreeing on every point, one of them is immature. Taking this point in view, I invite you to question. Let's discuss with each other. Friends, let's discuss with each other and try to learn with each other how perfect communication should be. Do we have any comments on YouTube? I see, I've been in a very tight spot today. I've given two examples. Still, students are not asking any questions. So I guess that you have heard me, you gained the knowledge, and you promised me to become wiser and do research on this topic, understand from different books available in the market, read them. Straight talking is good or good for communication, writes Aishwarya. Aishwarya, you can speak up. What do you mean by straight talking? Aishwarya, let's teach each other. Aishwarya, I want you to speak.
Aishwarya, maybe you can unmute yourself and talk, ma.
Yeah. Please unmute yourself and speak. Let's speak. Maybe with, Aishwarya, from your one question, there will be 20 of us who is going to get answer from this question. Why we have to, actually you have a mic problem. So straight talking is actually a good way of communicating. But what we understand, straight talking is using harsh words, speaking what's there in your mind. It's straight talking. Is that correct, Aishwarya, according to you? Aishwarya, yes. But as I have imparted that knowledge, straight talking is the best way of communicating, but the way you use your tone, the way you use your facial expressions, the way you use your postures, the way you choose words is very important.
Sir, some people.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, please continue, sir.
I encourage everyone to be to talk straight what's there in mind. I encourage every student here to talk straight, but choose the way you the tone you're going to speak. The same thing. Choose the right words, because the basic rule, the thumb rule, is to give respect and talk.
Sir, but we see people talking diplomatically to get their work done.
Yeah, that is another way of being a leader, but he or she may not be a good communicator, because you understand after that the person have manipulated me being a diplomatic, and I got the work done. You're not going to follow him or her again. Communicator is who communicates and every point people follows him or her. If you want to be a diplomatic, be diplomatic. But at what end? Till what end you're going to be diplomatic? Back of people will, there will be a time when nobody is going to listen to you. If you choose to be diplomatic at all the times. You have to be a great communicator. You have to influence people. That is what I am saying. Influencing using a negative skill. I call diplomacy a negative skill. I may be right, I may be wrong, but I perceive diplomacy a negative skill when it comes to communication. It can be a positive skills in leadership. It can be. I am not a diplomatic person.
It's a negative skill only, sir. But that way
Maybe
again, we are
that is you're giving the answer, ma'am. It's a negative skill.
So that's not again a skill of a leader.
It can be. I said it can be. You can say a leader should have to be diplomatic. It can be. I'm not denying. I'm saying my views, ma'am.
It's okay,
But
sir. I was just talking.
The more diplomatic you will be, the more people will not get influence with you. Maybe they will get influence immediately, but later you may not carry with them. Carry those people along. Am I clear, Aishwarya? Is your question been answered?
In the long run, it doesn't work, sir. Right?
In long run, it's not going to work.
Yes. So
we have seen. We have an exemplary example of Narendra Modi. He is never diplomatic. He says this is right or this is wrong. That's it. But he communicates it properly. Perfect example is Hitler. It doesn't happen. We are prepared, but last moment we are short of words. What then? I'm unable to understand your question, Himaji. If you can elaborate. It does happen. We are prepared, but last moment we are short of words. What then? Himaji, please be a little elaborative. Aishwarya says, right example is Hitler. Hitler have influenced people. Yes, we have won it. Talking straight. He is a greatest influencer this world have ever witnessed. Nobody in this world is a great influencer like Hitler is. But today, what we talk about him, he has become synonym of a barbarian. He have become a synonym of that Tanashahi, what we call. He has become that synonym. In the long run, Hitler is a negative word for us. Himaji, can you please elaborate your question?
Hello, sir. It does
Hello,
happen that we are given a task, we are well prepared to speak, and at the last moment we are short of words. So how can we overcome that?
There are 5 C's. 5 C's you have to practice, Himaji. There are 5 C's which will give you perfect direction to have any communication. Whenever you're going to communicate, those 5 C's have to be in your mind, clear, consistent, and others. So that if you keep on practicing those 5 C's, there will be a point, no matter when you're not prepared and when you're asked to speak, you will have no short of words. As I said, that it is a practice. Communication is a practice. It cannot come like that. A 2-hour of training session cannot make you a great communicator. So you have to practice, and then one fine day you will become a great communicator. You are able to influence people. So practice those 5 C's. Any communication, break it down into those 5 C's, and you will surely have a great transformation in speaking, Himaji. Dharni asks, sir, till which extent dressing appropriately is important for communication? Okay, so let's speak about how dressing is appropriate for communication. This is very interesting and very, tricky question. How can a communication and dressing properly will give you, that upper hand, if you dress properly? What do you mean by dressing properly? Dressing properly doesn't mean that wearing something hi-fi, something costly. It doesn't mean like that. That dressing properly is to, that set of color has to be there. That sort of clothes has to be there. Dressing properly means if you are communicating, first appearance to my eyes will be from your head to toe. You don't wear dress properly and you give communication of wearing dress properly, how you're going to win people? Dharni? Dressing appropriately means you have to have an appropriate dressing. Appropriate, neat, clean, tidy. A perfect dress for a perfect situation to speak. Dressing is very important. If you want to think big, but that is not visible in you, you're not going to achieve. The other person is not going to have an that trust or belief in you, because your appearance doesn't match. Your appearance, I repeat, your appearance doesn't match your communication. How someone is going to believe to you? Imagine if I'm here with spikes, with some tattoo here, with some some funky things here. My hairs are colored. I'm wearing a bungee here and coming in. Hey guys, let's speak about communication. You're not going to, trust. You're not going to, get influenced by me, because I'm speaking about good communication, but my appearance is not proper. Appearance will give a message to your subconscious mind. In other subconscious mind, there will be a kind of acceptance. You may see that he's communicating well, but your subconscious mind somewhere registers, look, his your appearance is not right. His body postures are not right. His attitude is not right. And after getting that communication, your mind, the other's mind will start, there will be an arising of questions, arising of disbeliefs. So that is why appearance, everything is so important when you're going to communicate. Dharni, am I clear? So you wrote it, got it, sir. Yeah, wonderful. Any more? So we had question from Aishwarya, Dharni, Hemaji. What more? Okay, do we have any other questions, or should we say Tata, goodbye, and see you again kind of thing? I need more questions here. Come on, let's learn from each other's. Okay, does age difference acts as a barrier in communication? No. Age difference doesn't act as a barrier in communication. We have seen many people who have at young age have influenced people a lot. Go and see the history of Swami Vivekananda. You will see at that young age how did he influence people. He have influenced people, to those people who are of his double age. And at this point of world, when world is a country, or world is itself is the one village, everyone, let it be small at the age, younger or older, we are at that situation, this era is of such that everyone has right to speak, and everyone have rights to be heard. And majorly we are accepting communications from juniors from the younger people also. I have two sons. Sometimes when I become sometimes he comes and teaches me, ki, Papa, don't do like this. This is not right. And I listen to him. It doesn't matter if he's my kid, but if he's saying something right, I have no option but my open-mindedness give an immediate acceptance to listen to my kid who is just a 7 or 8 years old. So age is not a barrier, but understand, respect, politeness, conciseness is most important. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot disrespect anyone. Let it be senior, elder, junior, or anyone. Your communication from today have to have respect for everyone, no matter whomsoever it is. If it is a younger sibling, talk to her or him with respect, respectfully. See how the magic, there will be a magic in your relationship when you start respecting each other. Any more questions? So it is just the thoughts and the way we communicate. Absolutely, just the thoughts and way we communicate. I now hand over the floor back to Vishalji. Okay.
Thank you, Govind Bhai. Thank you, ma'am, for giving us this wonderful opportunity to conduct this training session. And I thank Hema Jain and Arvind Thated for being present with us, as well as Priya Jain and Amit Makana. Ma'am, over to you. And
Yes.
thank you, Kasturba College students as well for being interactive with us and giving us a chance to come and do a presentation with you on. It was a wonderful experience. Thank you so much. Everyone can on camera so that we can take a group photograph.
Girls, can you? Yes, thank you, Vishal. Thank you, Govind sir. I request the girls to switch on the videos for a while. We'll take a pic. Thank you, girls. For a second, a few
I'm
more.
sorry for interruption.
Yes.
Thank you, Govind bhai. आपने बहुत अच्छा समझाया बच्चों को. Thank you very much. बच्चों को भी बहुत ज्यादा प्रेरणा मिली होगी आपके समझाने से. और कम्युनिकेशन के बारे में 100% सर. Thank you, Kasturba College.
Thank you. I'll just now I would request our Ms. Vidya Lakshmi, the Assistant Professor from Department of Computer Science, to formally propose vote of thanks.
Ma'am, sorry, I need observations by two students.
Yes, I mean, like, you want to ask something directly to them?
Yeah, if someone would like to, give a positive feedback on the training. Sorry to interrupt, ma'am.
It's okay. If you want to ask directly, then you can, sir.
Okay, Bhargavi. Okay, I see Komal. Komal is videos online. Dharni videos there. She is on video. Can you please share your observations? Any positive observations for the training?
Yes, sir. First of all, it was like really informative, and I learned like how to communicate in a good way. You know, how to put forward your thoughts. You know, you asked us to do a research on this topic, and you know,
Komal can give you give another observation. Komal, over to you.
Sir, your section is very well presented, and I like it very much, sir. And it's so informative. We can use in our future also, sir. And thank you for the today's section.
Thank you so much.
Sir, we are sharing a feedback link to the girls, and I think that we'll share with the Vishal later on.
Oh, that's wonderful, ma'am. That's so kind of you.
That we are doing it.
And ma'am, I did share you the PPTs as well on the email ID that you gave in the morning.
Yes, thank you.
Vishal bhai, can you please turn on your video?
Shall we have a formal vote of thanks, sir, now? Shall we?
Yeah, ma'am. Please
Yes,
go ahead.
ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Now I'll call upon Ms. Vidya Lakshmi for doing the same job.
Hello, sir.
Hello, ma'am.
So
Hello, ma'am.
I'd like to conclude the vote of thanks now with this session with the vote of thanks. So I'd like to thank our management, principal, vice principal, for arranging for such a wonderful webinar. And would like to say this more than a webinar, it was a workshop in the morning and also in the evening session. And it was really surprising that our girls have learned so much today and they were so interactive. And at this point in time where these are final year students, they have learned the art of communication, I would rather say, in this 1.5 session of yours. They would have really learned how to communicate, and I'm sure they are going to fare well in the upcoming interview sessions that they would attend. So, and apart from that, if I had to generally say, it's the key to the personal and successful career. And I would also like to say that few things that you mentioned with respect to communication, that linguistic, paralinguistic attributes, 5 C's, effective communication, I'm sure this would really prep them up for their upcoming sessions. So thank you so much, sir. And we'll speak to Vishal and then we'll try to have a session offline too, wherein we can meet you all and you can speak to our girls in person and you can give them more tips to communicate and how to make a successful career out of this. So thank you so much. And I would like to thank all the JC Royal members who have been a part of this program today. Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, on behalf of GCA Hyderabad Royals and GCA fraternity, we promise you, every time we are together working on a goal of empowering youth, and it will be a privilege if we can, help students to perform better, excel in their lives. So we are here. We have enormous, kind of trainers on all kinds of subjects. So anything there for junior level of students, any there, we will be happy to come and train them. We are here to provoke that thought that they have to lead, because as leading is our duty, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure, sir. We'll get back to you in future too.
Sure, ma'am.
Girls, we have shared a feedback form with you all. Can you submit? Fill up that and submit, ma.
Morning.
The feedback form is available in the chat box, girls. You can fill it up.
Ma'am, any chance of Rajshri ma'am coming?
She didn't turn up to the college today. Actually, she has some work. She didn't turn up. I have called her and told the same thing.
Done.
Of course, there's a YouTube links are there, and so she'll watch this. We have this YouTube links, right? So she'll watch it.
Done, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, even the President Nishan Shah sir also.
Yep.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Govind bhai, Hema bhabi, Priya bhabi. And
thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yep.